Okay, so I'm going to show you how a few things operate. We're revisiting the worm, Archon worm, and we're going to show you the different relationships here, such as with the virus in our system, and the worm relating to technology. We know all these things are fucking relevant. We know there's biological and technological versions of all these things, and we're going to show you how basically these archontic forces, or jinn in the more ancient Arabic culture, that was aware of these controlling forces, described them or called them. So I'm just going to read a bit of this. So a computer worm is a standalone malware computer program that replicates, okay, that's a key word. The virus in our system is also a replicating virus. I'm going to show how this is this other replicating thing is also relevant. Okay, it replicates itself in order to spread. Excuse me, I just woke up and yeah, thought I'd get into it straight away. It just was fresh in my mind. In order to spread to other computers, often it uses a computer network to spread itself. Okay, a network. Now, where would a network be here? Now, I'm going to bring, I don't know if you've heard of FRBs, fast radio bursts. Now, these things spring out of different places in the fucking cosmos. What is confusing to scientists is they form or spring out of different conditions. It's not the same condition that they manifest in, and we do pick them up. They're reaching here. So yeah, anyway, I'll continue with this. Spread itself through a computer network, relying on security failures on the target computer. Now, I'm looking at a biological human being as being a target computer for these worms as we're describing them. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's where this is the comparison I'm making. Security failures, when I'm looking at security failures in our system, I'm looking at key moments in an individual's biological evolution, certain stages of maturity, where the virus also peaks within one's own genetics to disrupt that, cause illnesses, other various ailments, like there's a list as long as your arm and longer probably. Okay, let's continue. Target access, yeah, okay. Worms almost always cause at least some harm to the network. Okay, the network in this case is, I'm going to relate it to the technological systems we have here around us, wireless, radio towers, mobile phone towers, things like that. I feel these things are bouncing off different planets. For one, Saturn. If you look at the waves it pumps out, I think these archontic forces that used to live on that planet have released themselves. That's why we see the core, the vortex, the polar regions of Saturn, the inner cores pretty much, gone. And they, at one stage, I do believe they tried to do this to our planet. Once they formed creatures such as the giants, their beloved ones, they started attacking the Earth. They dug into the Earth, partly because also they were too tall. Going into that atmosphere and breathing that air is very different to the suitable lower livable regions, so pretty much they dug into the Earth. But they're good at killing two birds with one stone. They realize how all things are connected, and they got their own way of, pretty much polar opposite of our way of perceiving and combining these things, pretty much completely anti-Christos, however you want to see it. But they are trying to, they will fucking release themselves, others that are also within the Earth, and they will bring others here from distant parts of the cosmos, and the old sun, Saturn, they're pretty much free already, free roaming. So we'll continue with a bit of reading on the worm, just to try and get these designs in your head, causing harm to the network. Okay, what relevance this has is more consuming bandwidth. That is one's own consciousness. This is one of the things that helps compartmentalize us, and what our leaders are working with. Okay, I'm talking about the head of the corpse, and they're always trying to reunite with the head. Okay, like the plan's out there. When they see it in action, they go for it. Okay, or it's just like basically subconsciously drawn to it. Like once you're in that movement, once you join the club, it's not like you're sitting there doing rituals every second to talk to your occultic master. Maybe some of them are, but it's they're herded just as much as we are. Okay, so consuming bandwidth, I'd relate that to consuming your own awareness and manipulating consciousness. Viruses almost always corrupt or modify files on a targeted computer. Okay, the human being is the targeted computer. The worm, once it is consuming your own awareness, we're not always susceptible to our genetics. It's how we respond to things. It can have an effect, what environment we put ourselves in, such as this situation with all these worms flying around. So if you get hit with a worm, at the same time the virus within you is in effect, you're probably not going to have a good time, because Bornavirus, that's just the name given to it, or like the animal virus in our system that takes up, first it was 8, then it's 10, now it's 15%, and they're finding it on more and more chromosomes, and they're putting RNA viruses in vaccines now, so they want it in there. I don't know the reason for that. I know, it does protect us from it's in it part of our immune system. It protects us from like certain bacteria or maybe even other threats, but it lets others in. It's like your operating system. It's like you wouldn't get sick if these things weren't in there. Like there's no like in how an Apple computer can't get certain all these viruses, you know what I mean? So something's been taken out and replaced with this replicating virus, and in turn these viruses that are out there are able to get into our system. Hope you're following me and I'm making sense. This RNA virus in our system also does its own gene editing. It, like all sorts of programs, like, you know, are in your genetic code, and like anything from, I don't know, I brought up empathy because it seems to be a major thing. You know, these people that just, you know, they'll spill your blood without regrets. They'll send 1,000 people to war, you know, and no drama. So those psychotic traits are in all our leaders, and the bloodlines are harboring this virus in order to do that. And yeah, pretty much whereas we're against this sort of like system, they're pretty much in with these things. I know there are factions that have tested our defenses against them, and that's pretty smart, but I think they've come to the conclusion that there's nothing they can do, and most people are just like, yeah, just live this crappy one life and then whatever, you know, give yourself over to the forces of darkness. Who really cares? And I really believe they think they have no defenses against these things. It's a bit of a cop-out. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they get a nice, easy, cushy life anyway, so why wouldn't they? I mean, what would you do in that position? Yeah, I couldn't do it myself. And yeah, I've been tested. But anyway, let's continue with this worm thing. Many worms are only designed to spread. Okay, no, they're out there in the cosmos, they're shooting around. Anywhere where they come from, you can probably guarantee some sort of form of life has existed there before. They are a life form of some sort of, you know, consciousness or awareness. Obviously there's a programming to them, and they're shooting out, finding new places, and I believe they can grow, and they're being used as well by these forces that are connected with Saturn. And probably our moon is another, like pretty much like a mobile phone tower or a transmitter of some sort. Yeah, it's getting pretty sci-fi now. So yeah, they are designed to spread. That's their thing. Just like an FRB, you know, spreading around, fast radio bursts. Look into them if you haven't. It's an interesting phenomena popping out of these certain areas under different conditions, and yeah, life finds a way, and this is one of these things' ways. Where are we going with this reading? Many worms are designed to spread and do not attempt to change the systems they pass through. However, as the Morris worm and Maydoom showed, even these payload-free worms can cause major disruptions by increasing network traffic and other unintended effects. So yeah, they're clogging up your system. They're working with the virus. Now these things, they do carry some sort of information with them. Obviously any sort of light is information. Now say you've got like how can I say, like a non-biological organism. It's the same way consciousness attaches itself to a biological thing. Like this sort of consciousness, I'm sure, attaches itself to the virus in our system, as well as other entities that they're probably trying to grow themselves or give birth to, even within a human being, and turning the human being either into something else completely or an incubator. I'll just read a bit more. Actual term worm was first used in John Brunner's 1975 novel The Shockwave Rider. Okay, so if you look at these waves that are coming off Saturn, and if you look at the frequencies it produces, these things are being transmitted through waves, shock waves, whatever. They're riding waves themselves, currents of electricity through the there could be riding Birkeland currents in the electric universe side of things, or just making it far enough to be retransmitted. But we're being bombarded, I believe. I've been picking up these things since I was pretty young. Recently, actually, I'll read a bit more, then I'll go into it later. Most recent experience with the worm. In that novel, The Shockwave Rider, Nicholas Haflinger designs and sets off a data-gathering worm in an act of revenge against the powerful men who run a national electronic information web. So yeah, they knew about the internet fucking way long ago. That induces mass conformity. That's pretty much what we're seeing now in our current situation. You have the biggest ever worm loose in the net, and it automatically sabotaged any attempt to monitor it. So it's got an encryption as well. I noticed the more I focused on the effects, or any place my consciousness or power or energy or anything, awareness was in effect, it would attack my strong points. Basically, it would attack all my strong points. So it's going for awareness, these worms. It's part of the right brain shutdown out there, and my next hopefully I'll be able to cover it in 5 minutes. I don't know how much time I've got left on this recording, otherwise I'll have to do a part 2. We're going into the left eye bruising, which is connected to the right brain being the higher awareness, related to the divine feminine. I'm gonna use another video of mine to describe how these things get in through the energy body, past our natural defenses, shells, whatever, luminous bodies, whatever you want to call it. There's an opening, and it's connected to the left eye, which is connected to the right brain and the higher awareness, and that's what they want to shut down. So yeah, maybe what else can I read? Okay, so I'll shut this down and we'll check out another video of mine. I think this has been on private. I don't know why I privatize these things. I don't know if I get paranoid or
with you all.
You just like not ready for it yet. But here we go.
Yeah, a few of you have got onto a few interesting things, and hoping to help complete this knowledge with you all. You see here the famous, infamous left eye bruising. Certain TV personalities and pillars of our society.
That's Bush on the left.
Unfortunately. And you seem to have stumbled across the Archontic connection, which is also a jinn and grey alien connection. Don't give me any of this, they're not all bad shit. I'll tell you what's fucking what here, okay? Don't tell me you have the discernment to know the difference, because I know you don't. It's pretty hard to know where to start with this subject. I mean, it goes all over the show. Been checking out a few other people's videos. Well, yeah, where do we start? The significance of the left eye? Since we're on the subject. Okay. Well, the left eye, as we are aware of, is connected to a certain side of the brain. Now I'm pretty sure that is the right brain. That is the creative or artistic side, the abstract.
So basically, dreamers know, or sorcerers, wizards, energy can be drawn in through the left eye, and and in dreaming, especially when you're projecting your consciousness, like we move through the tunnels, we see that opening. It's like a psychic eye that can open up anywhere in the universe. It can appear close, like right up in your grill, or it can look like it's further away. As we travel through it, becomes closer. So there is an opening and a connection to consciousness and awareness that exists there, that you are completely unaware of. I am completely aware of, because like I see it every day. And recently I was hanging around a mobile phone tower, and for too long, and it fucked with the frequencies on that energetic level, and I picked up a fucking FRB now in dreaming. And those 2 days I was around that mobile phone tower, I didn't make the connection instantly, but I was dreaming in this other certain area down the coast. I'm like, why am I constantly rocking up here? Like, what's the deal? And then I realized, oh shit, there's another mobile phone tower there. So, hello, Archontic control grid. So they will lock you into, 4G at the moment, when 5G comes in, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, man, because this shit's bad enough. And I had to go dark. I had to pretty much, I was in the black eye club for a fucking, good few days there. 3 days later, and I was seeing this fucking, anytime especially I was around, like, lighting would fuck with me, but anytime I was around too close to a fucking tower or internet connection, yeah, I could see it through my psychic eye. Yeah, the blue light, you'd want blue blockers, yeah, but I'd got decent sunnies, but that light will fuck with you too. That can trigger it. We all know, visual display units are fucking dangerous. Whatever they're putting into our heads through them, like all our technology is fucked. It's all fucked. Everything about it is fucked. It's shit. It's all shit. There could be good technology. We're given shit technology that just is harmful to the earth, us, kills us. Get rid of it. Get rid of it all. Fucking start again, man. Do better operating systems, like, different, better forms of communication. I mean, just so happens coincidentally they put radio towers on these fucking ley lines, I know it, to increase the fucking power of it or whatever.